Welcome to African News 24 TV. I'm Mary Adam. It's great to have you join us on the news at this hour as we bring you the biggest stories shaping the day. First, the headline. Gunmen attack KWARA State again, abducting 11 people, including pregnant women and nursing mothers. Inspector General of Police in KEBBI State promises more tactical operation to ensure release of abducted schoolgirls. Lagos State Governor SANWO-OLU presents 2026 budget of 4.2 trillion naira to House of Assembly. Let's dive into the bulletin, beginning with the report of yet another attack by gunmen on KWARA State again. This time, the gunmen during a violent raid abducted at least 11 residents, 7 of them reportedly from the same family. The attackers stormed Ishakpa community near Eruku in Ekiti State local government area where worshippers were abducted last week. Eyewitnesses reported that more than 20 gunmen stormed the community with a large herd of cattle, firing shots indiscriminately. In the chaos, an elderly woman was hit by a stray bullet. Among the abducted victims, this time, are a pregnant woman, 2 nursing mothers, and several young children. Residents said the attackers moved through parts of the town, leaving bullet holes and wolves indoors. Expended AK-47 shells were later recovered across the community after the gunmen left. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, EGBETOKUN, has reaffirmed the commitment of the Nigerian police force to sustain intensive operations across KEBBI State following the recent abduction of students by armed men. EGBETOKUN said more tactical units have been already mobilized to the affected communities, working jointly with the military and local security groups to track the attackers and coordinate rescue efforts. He noted that field commanders have been directed to maintain constant presence in the area and ensure no further breaches occur. According to the IG, the renewed operations will prioritize stronger intelligence gathering, uninterrupted surveillance, and blocking of all possible escape routes within the Danko-Wasago axis as the search for the abducted students continues. EGBETOKUN was speaking during a sympathetic visit to the governor of the KEBBI State, Nasir Idris. He added that restoring the security of KEBBI is critical to the Northwest and the country at large. The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin KALU, says lawmakers are working on a new law that will penalize government officials who negotiate ransom payments. He told a special session on national security that the measure, expected within 6 months, aims to tackle rising banditry and stop unstructured amnesty deals. KALU also called for stronger policing and faster steps towards creating state or local police, saying Nigeria's worsening insecurity needs urgent action. KALU was speaking during a special plenary session dedicated to Nigeria's national security. We apologize for technical hitches. And now we continue with the rest of the news. The growing insecurity in northern Nigeria has forced the federal government to shut unity schools following a surge in targeted attacks on learning institutions. The move comes amid mounting concern that classrooms have increasingly become soft targets for armed groups. The closure has triggered a wave of withdrawals as parents evacuate their children, heightening fears of deeper disruption to academic activities. We have more in this report.
The federal government has ordered the shutdown of unity schools across several northern states following renewed insecurity and recurring mass adoptions. The directive comes amid rising fears after years of school kidnappings, including the Chibok and Dabik incidents, as well as more recent attacks in KEBBI, Niger, and Katsina. A visit to the affected school shows classrooms deserted as parents evacuate their children, while some state governments have also closed primary and secondary schools over safety concerns. Parent and education advocates warn that although the closure may prevent further attacks, they risk deepening learning disruption and exposing young people to social risk at home. Stakeholders are urging government authority to declare a state of emergency on school safety and implement stronger protection measures. With no confirmed reopening date, thousands of students remain uncertain about their academic future as insecurity continues to reshape education across northern Nigeria.
Islamic cleric Ahmad GUMI says most bandits operating in the north are ready to embrace peace if given a genuine path to reintegration and dialogue by the government. GUMI explained that the ongoing violence could be significantly reduced if authorities adopt a more strategic, engagement-based approach rather than relying solely on military force. He noted that several bandits leaders have privately indicated willingness to drop their weapons under the right conditions. He also stated that he would support a presidential pardon for Nnamdi Kanu, the detained IPOB leader, only if Kanu openly shows remorse and commits to peaceful coexistence. According to GUMI, any step towards reconciliation must prioritize national stability and the safety of communities affected by insecurity. Lawmakers from the southeast have appealed to President Tinubu to grant clemency to Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous peoples of Biafra, following his life sentence on terrorism-related charges.
Solution. They warn that KANU'S continued detention is worsening tensions and insecurity across the southeast. Speaking on behalf of the caucus, Ebonyi lawmaker Udu Igariwe said the group respects the judiciary but believes clemency would help restore calm and reduce social and economic disruptions in the region.
After extensive deliberation, the caucus resolved to humbly appeal to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to consider a political and humanitarian intervention using the constitutional powers granted under Section 175 of the 1999 Constitution to grant pardon to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Our appeal is grounded on the following considerations. 1. We believe that the continued detention of Mazi Kanu has contributed significantly to tension and agitation in the southeast. Despite numerous calls for calm, the atmosphere remains strained.
The lawmakers argue that markets, schools, and daily activities have suffered due to heightened agitation and security operations. They said a presidential pardon would open the door for wider dialogue and long-term peace. They also appeal to residents to remain calm, assuring them that discussions with federal government will continue.
The Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide SANWO-OLU, has presented the 2026 Appropriation Bill to the Lagos State House of Assembly, unveiling a total budget size of 4.2 trillion naira tagged the budget of shared prosperity. The proposed fiscal plan projects total revenue of 3.9 trillion naira, made up of 3.1 trillion naira in internal generated revenue and 874 billion naira from federal transfers. Our next report tells us more.
Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-OLU, has presented a 4.237 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill to the Lagos State House of Assembly, describing it as a budget of shared prosperity. The proposal projects 3.99 trillion naira in revenue and a 243.3 billion naira deficit to be financed through borrowings. Capital spending is set at 2.18 trillion naira, while recurrent expenditure stands at 2.05 trillion naira. Sanwo-OLU also revealed that Lagos attracted over 1 trillion naira in new investment commitments in 2025.
Under our thriving 21st century megacity economy, this pillar is focused on ensuring that Lagos maintains an advanced position at leading global sub-national economy. I'm proud to disclose that in 2025, we're able to secure a 1 trillion in new investment commitment in our state. This reflects the heightened confidence that investors have in our state and in all of our economic agenda.
In healthcare, education, transportation, and security, he highlighted national economic improvements and praised federal programs supporting youth, women, and education. Obasa said the Assembly will rigorously scrutinize the proposal, noting its recent support for key state projects, including the 125 billion naira bond and the Smart Solar Streetlights Initiative.
As you all know, our dear state, the center of excellence, has continued to be seen both within and outside Nigeria as the place where good governance is the norm, which readily explains why Lagos is open to all Nigerians. Of course, this assembly has played an important role in complementing the executive efforts by enacting laws that enhance the quality of life of our residents, particularly in the areas of socio-economic growth, local government reform, and institutional development.
Lydia Ajayi, Africa News 24 TV.
In politics, fresh cracks have emerged within the People's Democratic Party as it comes of the Minister of Federal Capital Territory, WIKE, and those loyal to the faction and national chairman of PDP, TURAKI, disagreed over the reopening of the party's national secretariat. WIKE's faction has been pushing for the immediate reopening of the secretariat, arguing that the move is necessary to restore normal party operations and strengthen grassroots mobilization ahead of upcoming elections. His allies insist that the closure has hindered administrative functions and weakened the PDP's visibility in the political space. On the other hand, Turaki's camp has voiced strong opposition, warning that reopening the Secretariat without resolving lingering internal disputes could deepen divisions. They argue that reconciliation and restructuring should take precedence over physical reopening, stressing that the party risks further instability if the matter is rushed. The KOGI state government is pushing back against fresh allegations of diverting funds meant for local government councils. At a press conference in Lokoja, officials of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, alongside the State Commissioner for Information, dismissed the claims as false and misleading. This report captures more.
Following the Supreme Court's judgment of July 11, granting financial autonomy to local government areas across the country, there have been bottlenecks preventing the implementation. The non-implementation of the judgment has for months given rise to speculation of diversion of the council funds by the state government, in whose accounts the funds are sent by the Federal Ministry of Finance. Kogi state government is among those accused of the diversion, with the media by some members of the state executive and local government administrator in the state.
These allegations are untrue, politically motivated, deliberately orchestrated to mislead the public.
While the state government is dismissing the allegation, those in the center of the matter, the council head, described the allegation as untrue, insisting they have been in future charge of council revenue.
The state government does not tamper with our allocations and the revenue we generate internally.
I am in full charge of my allocation and I'm using it judiciously. More also, the internal revenue generation in my local government is used by me.
His Excellency Alhaji Usman Ahmed Ododo, the chief servant of the good people of Kogi State, is diverting the allocation and revenue of the local government. It is a lie from the pit of hell. We receive our allocation directly, we generate our money, and utilize it to promote the administration under our watch.
The Kogi state government insists that it is focused on creating a comfortable environment and improving the quality of life for the residents. It warns residents to ignore rumors that can tamper with the growth and development of the state.
Let's go on a break. When we return, we'll tell you how NNPC performed in 2024. That's on business. Join us again. Welcome back. Let's take some business stories. Nigeria's oil sector recorded a robust performance in 2024, supported by strategic reforms, operational efficiency improvements, and strengthened governance across its business units. The performance reflects ongoing reforms and improved operational efficiency across the industry, such as enhanced downstream operations, cost discipline, and strategic focus underpinned the results, with plans to expand crude oil and gas production while ensuring sustainable refinery operations. On the foreign scene, Apple has announced that it is quoting jobs across its sales teams to strengthen its customers' engagement efforts. Apple noted that only a small number of roles will be impacted by the layoffs. An Apple spokesperson told Reuters that the company is continuing to hire and the affected employees can apply for new roles. The affected employees include account managers, 7 major businesses, schools and government agencies, according to Bloomberg News. Staff who operate Apple's briefing centers for institutional meetings and product demonstrations for prospective customers were also affected. One of the major targets of the layoffs was a government sales team working with agencies, including the United States Defense Department and Justice Department. Welcome to sports. Bayern Munich striker Harry Kane today returned to North London in exceptional form, thriving in a deeper, more creative role under manager Vincent Kompany. The 32-year-old has scored 24 goals in 18 appearances this season and remains central to Bayern's impressive unbeaten run. Kane will again be pivotal against the national side, boasting Europe's best defensive record, with Luis Diaz unavailable due to suspension. The England captain, who has a prolific history against the Gunners, says he is enjoying his football more than ever. However, Bayern entered the clash with a clear area of concern, having recently struggled to defend set pieces, a department in which Arsenal have consistently excelled this season. In entertainment, the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons says controversial rapper Speed Darlington remains on its security watch list over allegations that he had sexual activity with a minor. According to the agency, the artist ignored several invitations to meet investigators in Abuja after a 2024 Instagram live video in which he allegedly claimed he was involved with a 15-year-old girl. NAPTIP's Director of Legal and Prosecution, Ijoma Amogo, said efforts to locate him at known addresses failed, and intelligence later showed he had left the country. She added that the agency will pick up the investigation the moment he returns to Nigeria. That's all for this hour on African News 24 TV. Thank you for joining us. And remember to connect with us on all our social media platforms shown on your screen. And visit our website at africannews24.ng for the latest updates. I'm Mary Adam. See you soon.